Next up on the list is petrified fossil. Petrified fossil is a type of fossil, one of the several types, and you'll have to be able to list at least a couple types of fossils. But petrified fossils means turned to stone. Petrified means turned to stone. Sometimes in books or reading or, I don't know, YouTube videos, somebody will say, and I don't mean this YouTube video, but some others, someone might say in an old movie, oh, they were so scared they were petrified. So petrified, if you are so scared you're petrified, you're so scared that you're just frozen, like stone. How does something get frozen into stone? Think of it this way. If we take a dinosaur bone, it's a lot like this sponge right here. It's got a lot of little holes in it if you look at a bone really closely. What happens is we take basically salty water, and if you think of driving around, you'll see salt. Once they put salt down on the roads, people drive through it, it splashes on their car, and you see salt on the cars. Now the salt on the cars was in the water, but you couldn't see it when it was in the water because it was all mixed in. The same thing happens with dirt. And that if you have a dinosaur bone, like this sponge, trapped in sedimentary rock for a really long time, water that is filled with sand and minerals and other sediments slowly washes through the dinosaur sponge. Now if I take dirty water and I pour it through the sponge, the water will mostly go through the sponge, but a lot of the dirt will stay in the sponge. Now think about if we have the sponge filled with this dirt, and that dirt slowly turns into a sedimentary rock, which we just talked about, slowly turns into a sedimentary rock, all of the blue material of the sponge, just like all of the actual calcium of a dinosaur bone, would eventually fall apart after 1,000,000 years, and we'd have no sponge left, but all of the dirt that was in the sponge and turned into a rock would be in the exact same place as all of the blue material. So, in 1,000,000 years, we'd have no sponge, but we'd have a rock version of the sponge that looked exactly like the sponge. That's a lot of times what we find. If you've heard of petrified wood, that is where a tree acts just like the sponge, and dirty water gets pushed through it for 1,000,000 years, and eventually we have no tree anymore, but we have a rock that looks just like the tree. So, petrified, you are so petrified or so scared you're petrified, you're frozen like rock. Petrified fossil is something that is turned into a rock. You might write that down. Petrified fossil, something turned into a rock.